Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Seasonal Weather, the platform where we speak to the power. We're going to quickly go through this. Apparently, there's an allegation that the lawmakers have pocketed 100 million naira each. And now look at the defense for that by some of the lawmakers, and they're trying to rubbish it. Very much like the governor of Ogun State, Dr. Abiodun, when he was accused by Wale Adedayo of withholding the federal allocation monthly allocation to the state, local government for 2 years. Listen to what this lawmaker says. Let's listen.
Good morning, my dear brother. And even until this morning that I was just hearing of
Yemi Adaramodu
about it. In fact, it's so shocking, very egregious, so astounding, so astonishing that anybody, especially as high as that level in Nigerian NLC.
What's your view, by the way? Let's hear your comments.
About that allegation is very unfortunate, quite unfortunate, because the way some people just behave as look, it's very unfortunate that each legislator will be sharing 100 million naira. Where does that come from? Where will that one come from? Who will give that?
We know where it will come from.
How?
We know where it comes from. It's the money. It's the public money.
It's very difficult for me to even believe, to even fathom. Because I believe that in fact, for me, it's very unsettling. Because if NLC could just...
Sadly, we're not surprised. Money has gone missing in Nigeria. So this thing about unsettling, no, this is what's been going on a daily basis. And it is right for NLC to raise those concerns. What we need is for you to provide, you now come out and say to us, okay, these are what we received. We're nothing of the sort. Provide the evidence, not just, provide, the fact of what you're saying here. And of course, yes, if NLC can provide the evidence, let them provide it also. But we're saying that we know that the antecedents of the lawmakers in Nigeria has been, it's been proven over the years and years on which billions have gone missing and nobody has gone to jail. That is what we're saying. Let's listen on.
Let's go ahead and issue a statement for that matter. Issue a statement for that matter, because when I was even hearing the same price yesterday night, I did not even believe it, because I thought nobody can just fathom that, nobody can just say it, nobody can just put that one, even paper on pen, or even say it out, that a legislator is taking a 100 million naira each.
Yes.
For what? For what? What for? How? Where? When? Where was the appropriation done? Where is it in the Nigerian budget? How and where will the money come from? From whose pocket will the money come from? This is a blatant lie. And I always say it for Nigerians. We Nigerians, we are going to decide whether we want to have a nation or not. We cannot build a nation of falsehood.
The fact of the matter is that the lawmakers have put this nation in this mess. They are lining their pocket with money meant for the public. That is it. And it is not just this current administration alone. All the previous administrations have done the same thing. There's clear evidence of that. Many of them have not gone to jail. So to just try and rubbish the statement here is actually unacceptable. It just smacks of trying to hide something. So please, let us see what you've been paid then. If you're going to say it's not true, let us see. Millions have gone missing and nobody's been held accountable. And they are right. NLC is right to point this out.
Not build a nation on just this kind of fake news. Fake news
So now it's fake news. Really. Billions missing. Billions and billions and billions of naira missing. And our economy is going down the pan, and you are just here making excuses. It's not good enough.
Very high quarters. It's very unfortunate. It's very bad. Because we are behaving even to the National Assembly as if we don't want a parliament. And I have always been saying it, stating it severally, that the parliament is the soul of any democracy. There is no nation in the world, anywhere, that they run democracy without the parliament.
You see what they're doing now? They're just coming to make a lot of noise to try and debunk it and not really look at the facts of the matter. Money has gone missing. There's NLC states 100 million each. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me, because that is that kind of a nation that we have, where corruption is king in Nigeria.
Some people are behaving as if they don't want parliament. How? The National Assembly members, just a few months ago, we were inaugurated, just about 2.5 months ago, we were inaugurated. Immediately after inauguration, they started bandying around the 70 billion naira supplementary budget thing. I even came out. I said, look, even if it is in budget, the 70 billion naira is for infrastructure of the National Assembly. Anybody that has visited the National Assembly and
infrastructure of the National Assembly, really? You see now? Can you see? So 70 billion naira for National Assembly. Come on. Come on. You see, this is what I'm saying. When they're making statements like this, we need to challenge them. We must begin to challenge them. You as a sovereign, please, I remind you all, those of you watching, let me bring this up now. Let me bring this up because we need to really begin to challenge this now. This is really enough. This has gone on long enough now. And we must challenge this. We must challenge it. No, let me just... they're just coming to just do this debunking on camera and not really sticking into the facts of the matter. It's a joke. It's truly a joke. 1 second, please. That's not what I need. I want you to see this one. This is the one I want you to home in on and look at, please. On Facebook, on YouTube, I've been banned for a week. Because I did a video. Yes, I was right in my assertion in terms of the money being looted. But however, because I'm not familiar with Gabon too much, I thought it was the former president, Senate president, but actually it was somebody else. So they banned me for a week. So I will not be able to post on YouTube for a week. But like I said, the central point I was making in that video was that our currencies are worthless, and those who are looting need to understand that those currencies, it's about fixing our currencies where our resources are being looted, and we need to stop working within the parameters that's been put in place by the colonials on us. Anyway, but a week, we'll wait. So next week, I will not be able to post until next week, Thursday now, on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. But anyway, but going back to what I was saying here, look, I want you all to please familiarize yourself with this. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. You know, you are a sovereign. You have every right to question those you elect into office. They are not gods. You are the sovereign. And the powers they use to govern you is derived from you. You can question them. You must begin to participate in your governance. 14.2c. You have the right to participate. It states here, the participation by the people in their governance shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Part of the provision is that you're a sovereign and you have to exercise those powers. Enough of just waiting for them to just say something and go away. You must participate in the governance. That is the point being made here. Let's go forward.
I'm very sure that NLC operatives have the opportunity of visiting the National Assembly. It's an edifice. It's a big structure. And
so it's a big structure, so it will take away 70 billion. Come on. What are you saying? 70 billion. Let's go and make comparisons with other national assemblies. Is that how much you're spending? 70 billion naira. Nonsense. I'm sorry. I don't.
The past almost 30 years that National Assembly has been built, there has never been a deliberate attempt even to buy or to put infrastructure into the National Assembly. The shares that were there almost 20.
So they're infrastructures. That's not infrastructure. That is not infrastructure. But chairs are not infrastructure. No. This is... They are maintenance and replacement of things in there, of the furnitures and things. That's not infrastructure. That's not infrastructure. That's different.
Years are still the same shares. The tables that were there almost 20 years are still the same.
So that is more important than the lives of the people that you're meant to serve.
Tables. Then when you don't change them, even in our own private houses, how many years do we use a table before we change it?
So how is it that the government has continued to ensure that leave our electricity for over 20 years? Speak on that. Speak on that. No, please. We need to challenge these people. We must challenge these people.
To talk less of different legislators coming every 4 years to the National Assembly to use the same table, to use the same.
And they all come to loot. They've all been looting. It's been a looting spree. All of the assembly since 1990, there's been a looting spree. The evidence is all over the place. Many of them have not been jailed.
Television set to use the same air condition, the air conditioners. And I said,
and the people have been using the same bad roads for 30 years, the same bad schools, the same buildings, the same bad hospitals. What have you done about that? What have you done about that? What have you guys done about that?
For the opposite time, that for legislators of today,
you see, they are not trying to, he's just trying to make excuses. Do you buy anything? You listening to me, are you buying what he's saying? Are you buying what he's saying? Let's go ahead.
That we had to buy our fridges, buy our television, even do subscription, DSTV subscription.
Can you see? You have to buy your own TV, buy your own DSTV subscription. Really? And what about the people? So is that our job? Even if you were to do that, is that too much for you to do? Based on the amount that you're getting? This is excuses. This what this man is saying is pure excuses. Let's go on.
In our offices, we paint the offices by ourselves.
Oh, you paint it yourself? Really? Where's the evidence of it?
We bought tables for ourselves. We bought chairs for ourselves.
No.
And then by the time, after 4 years, when legislators are now going away with what they bought with their own money, people will just come out and say that they are looting the National Assembly. And not knowing that these things.
Can you see what he's doing now? He's moved away from the allegation of the 100 million naira. He's now trying to justify. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know how you see it. We need to challenge these people. We need to challenge them. Enough of this nonsense. Let me just show you again. I need you to know you need to exercise these powers. Please exercise these powers. I'm going to read it to you again. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. The man that you see in that picture, Yemi Adamodu, something Daramodu or something, Adamodu, whatever his name is, he is working for you. He is working for you and is accountable to you. Whatever you ask him, he must provide because of the powers that you see on the screen. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this provision, with this constitution. That is what you need to remember. And I wish everybody would be able to share this message to all communities. Enough is really enough. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Were even bought by the National Assembly members by themselves. But if this year they now want to put these tables there, this infrastructure there, I even said that the tables, the infrastructure, and all those things are not mainly only for the legislators. We have bureaucracy in the National Assembly. We have directors. We have assistants.
Can you see what they're doing? You are answerable to the people of Nigeria, Yemi Daramodu, as lawmaker. Yes, I'm saying it. Let me show you, sir. Since let me show you. You need to recognize what I'm showing you. Dispute what I'm saying if that's not the case. I'm happy to come on air and debate this with you directly, live on air. This is not a question of you coming making excuses to us. Listen to the words I'm about to read. Yemi Daramodu. Let me read it to you. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. So we are the sovereigns. The people are the sovereigns. You have to listen to what the people are telling you. Section 42C. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. That means that we, the people, we have the right to participate in our governance because we are sovereigns. And we have the power and the right to question your spending of the money that we are asking you to use to improve our infrastructure. The chairs and tables in the National Assembly are not infrastructures. No way. They are they are furnitures that you use for the building. The building itself can be considered infrastructure to a certain extent, but it's only for the benefit of you guys there. What about the roads that have not been fixed for 30, 40 years? What about that? What about the hospitals? What about the schools? What about the bridges? Where's your priority? The people should be your priority. Let's go ahead.
Directors, we have people equivalent to permanent secretaries, we have clerks, we have committees, we have workers, several thousands of workers, and
it sounds to me like you're trying to justify the 100 million naira that people have shared among themselves. That's what it sounds like to me.
And the menial jobbers in the National Assembly that work to keep the National Assembly together. That is not only the legislators. That all those infrastructure will go to all those offices.
If they say 100 million naira has been looted, then it is quite likely to happen because anything can happen in Nigeria as we know it. And you have to show us through good administration of the funds that comes to your remit, under your remit, and be transparent. There is no transparency in the system right now.
All go to all those sectors. And moreover, when the National Assembly, the legislators, when they do appropriation, are they going to be the one who will spend the money? No, it's not so. It's the executive. It is the bureaucracy that.
Can you see he's trying to make excuses? He's coming out straight away to try and make excuses. This is not good enough. They need to provide, they need to actually tell us how much they're earning. They need to, because we are the ones paying their wages, and we have a right to know. Collectively as citizens. Don't forget.
We allocate and spend and do procurement. It is not the National Assembly members. We have already settled that one. And this one is coming from the blues, that 100 million naira. What for? Where is it coming from?
Okay, Senator, maybe that's where that's where they got it mixed up, because indeed it has been reported
that kind of guess.
You see?
Okay, Senator, 70 billion was reported to have been received by the National Assembly in the supplementary budget, as you have just mentioned. But nothing in particular about its disbursement prior to what you've just, spoken about this morning was given. And maybe, in fact, as the House of Reps spokesman had said, that it was mischievous, that just like you, he expressed his outrage and shock. In fact, went ahead and demanded an apology. But in the absence of a sort of a proper, shall we say,
there's no
sharing of information.
I said it before you even spoke now. I said there's no transparency. The system that is being run lacks transparency. It lacks transparency. And we, the citizens, I want you to know that this power that I'm showing you on the screen, you have the power to hold them to account. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Section 14(2)(c). The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So when they come and start trying to rebut any accusations, they need to understand that they are answerable to we, the people. And they are not transparent. There is no transparency. It lacks transparency.
To how it was disbursed, that 70 billion, to dispel all of these kind of speculations, as put out allegedly by the National Assistant Secretary of the NLC.
See now,
there hasn't been any explanation apart from our speaking this morning, and you're sort of explaining it.
I personally, thank you, my brother. I personally, and even many legislators, senators, especially, they had been in the media space to even explain.
We don't want your explanation. We want a document that breaks down how that 70 billion naira was disbursed. On what areas, what project, a breakdown. Where is it? Having to hear 10 different people tell us, explain the same 70 billion naira, what do you begin to believe? There is no transparency in this process. That's the point being made. There is no transparency, and there must be transparency and accountability, because, I remind you again, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Citizens, you need to know that you are sovereign, and we have the power to question anybody. They are answerable to us. Once they are working in the government, either elected or appointed, they are answerable to us, because we are the sovereigns. And we have the power to do so because why? Sovereignty, the participation by the people in the government, shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. One of the provisions is that we are sovereigns, and as a sovereign, we can question anybody, from the president downwards. Nobody is above board on this one. Nobody. Let's go forward and listen. Please take a screenshot of what I'm showing you on the screen and share it, and begin to use that in every community. We have that power. We must begin to use it.
That supplementary budget, and we thought that had already explained everything.
No, there is no one singular document that is as a reference point for everybody to see where it's been spent. No singular document, and we need to see that document.
And if there's anything, any misgiving, anything that anybody is doubting about it, that I made myself available, that yes,
it's not about you talking. You can talk. We need a document, an official document that everybody can go to as a reference point. So from that point, because if somebody telling us this one, somebody telling us that one, they can change. It can change from one person to the next. And they are trying to hide something. When they are talking like this, trust me, they are trying to hide something. They are trying to hide something, and we need to expose it.
The spokesperson, you can even come to my office. And
we don't need to come to your office. It's not about you. It's about the whole nation. We don't need to come to your office. No, we don't need to come to your office. We need the document.
Ask further questions. If you are not yet...
No, we're not interested in asking you questions. There has to be a document that shows how the 70 billion was spent. That is information that the public must know, because the public are the ones who are paying your wages. Again, I'll remind you, everybody watching this, when you get the podcast, please share it. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derived all its powers and authority. You need to begin to exercise that power in every community. We are the sovereigns. And the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Part of which, the main provision is that we are the sovereigns. On that basis, we question anybody from the president downwards. I reiterate that. Take a screenshot of this and begin to share it in all your communities. Enough of this nonsense.
Very clear about the explanations put forward by the National Assembly. We have done that one several.
No, you haven't done it severally, because nobody has a breakdown of the figure. Where is one document that anybody in Nigeria can go and point to and say, this is what was spent? And how does that document relate to what was actually spent? Is it the same thing? There is no document. Provide that document so we can see how much was spent. We need transparency.
Almost 1 month, we were doing that one, we were doing all those things. But because some people are fixated, because some people just wanted...
No, give us this. We need one document that shows the exact disbursement of that 70 billion naira, what it was spent on. You must provide that to us. We are the sovereigns. We are asking you, and you must provide it.
The democracy to be truncated. Some people just do by enemies.
Can you see what he's doing now? He's trying to now change the subject. He's trying to provide information. There is no transparency in this system right now. It lacks transparency.
And because of this, they keep on hammering on the same thing even after defenses.
We're not interested in your defenses. We are interested in an official document that provides a breakdown of the disbursement, because we, the people, we're the sovereigns, and we have a right to ask those questions, and we have the right, and you must provide the answer, because you are serving the people. The powers you possess in running the government, you derive it from we, the people, as stated in the document. As stated in the document. The document states, and I state again, I restate, Section 14(2)(a) of the Nigerian Constitution states, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. The people, not you, from whom the government, you are part of the government, through this constitution derives its powers and authority. That means that you are deriving the powers of governance from we, the people. As such, we are the sovereigns, and we can question you. And of course, we are guaranteed to participate in our governance under Section 14(2)(c). The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. You must provide what we ask for. You must, because you are serving the people. And it's time everybody in the community understand this is what we need to begin to do. We must demand for accountability and transparency in our governance.
The only thing there is this. The 70 billion naira, even one cover out of the 70 billion naira, it has not even been released to the bureaucracy.
Okay, you're saying that. How do we know? Where's the evidence? If you say it's not been released, give us the breakdown of how it was disbursed and when it was paid and when it's going to be paid. We need that for information, not from you. This is a document that has to be provided for all of that funds coming from the Senate or from the National Assembly, telling us exactly when those funds are going to be, how much has been earmarked to what person or to what area, and when it's going to be dispersed, and all of that. You need to provide that breakdown. So saying all of this now, you can see now that it's got no basis. They're just coming to just try and make a noise, and hopefully it will die down. We mustn't allow this to go quietly. We need to question them.
So even do any purchase.
You see that now.
For even the furnitures.
You see now. You see, they're trying to create a smoke screen to prevent us questioning them. We need transparency. Citizens, please exercise these powers you see on the screen. This is the perfect opportunity, one we mustn't lose. I'm going to share this on my platforms, and I'm going to try and hopefully talk about this a great deal. Currently, I cannot stream on YouTube because I've been blocked for a week. But I'm going to share it on other platforms. Please, I urge you, go ahead and support my subscribe to Zinewa Backup channel and also Oduduwati Radio 2 as well. Help us grow the platform. The information here is so important. I'm going to share it on Facebook and on YouTube, and on TikTok as well. But these are information that we need to sharing. Please know that you possess the power to question them. They are not gods. They are serving you. You need to understand that. Enough of this injustice.
Infrastructure and everything. None. No kobo has even been released to them. So
you see now, no kobo. You see, I cannot trust the words of any of our senators. We need to see this, the paperwork, see this on paper in black and white. We cannot trust their words, because words can change in any minute. Their words can change. They can make all of that. They can say anything on camera. But we need the stuff, the breakdown of that 70 billion naira in black and white. That's what we need.
And they know. And
no.
NLC. The NLC.
You see, the senator is now trying to just make excuses. But let's listen to what the journalist will say here.
Senator, I beg your pardon. Maybe it's this phraseology of this money, this 70 billion, reportedly made available to
National Assembly. Many of them belong to the NLC. They can ask questions from them. They are the ones who deal with files.
Can you see now? Can you see he's trying to avoid, he's trying to shout above the person so that we can ask questions. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a great opportunity. We must not ignore this. We need to use this now. This is what we're talking about. We need to make sure that we exercise our sovereignty. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Section 42C. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. We need to exercise those powers urgently. Let's go ahead.
They are the one who deal with vouchers. They can ask questions from them. Whether anything has been done.
You need to provide a documented breakdown of the 70 billion naira, who is being dispersed to, what time, for what project, for whatever reason, a clear breakdown so that the people can begin to track it. That is what transparency looks like. Not you just talking. You talking is not evidence. That's just you talking. We need evidence of the breakdown of the figures from the National Assembly, not you coming out and making excuses.
I don't believe you heard me. Maybe the mistake came from the sort of narration that this 70 billion was made available to improve, that is quoting directly now, improve the working conditions of its new members.
Working condition. When you say new member, the 9th Assembly has already gone. Even if you are repeating National Assembly.
You see now, he's not answering the question. He's just trying to just make a statement for us to accept that statement. We can't just accept that. No. We need transparency. We need transparency in our governance. It is lacking.
10 times. When you come into the 10th Assembly, you are a new member. So 10th Assembly has just started about 3 months ago. So
then
the 10th Assembly, every 109 member of the Senate.
Then you provide information.
Every 360 member of the House of Representatives are new. Because we are moving to
provide
new
information.
Offices. The office that I used when I was in the 9th Assembly as a House of Representative member is not the same office that I'm using now. Even whoever had been in the
you need to provide transparency. That is the point that is being made. It has to be transparent. You coming to tell us does not make any, it's not the answer. We need a document that provides a breakdown of the 70 billion naira. Provide it. That is a demand, direct demand that the National Assembly must answer to. The citizens of the nation want to know where the breakdown of those figures, so we can track it. We're the ones paying the wages.
Senate before. It's not the same office. So you have to move to another office. And when you are moving to another office, there must be infrastructure. And even at the next...
It's not infrastructure. It's not infrastructure. No. That is, the building is already in place. Infrastructure, equipment is not infrastructure. They are replacing equipment. That is different from infrastructure. And this is what I'm saying. The way they're using those words, we have to challenge them. That's not infrastructure. Infrastructure are roads. What roads, schools, bridges, healthcare, hospital. Those are infrastructure. Chairs are not infrastructure. No, they are not. TVs are not infrastructure. No, they are not. We need to be challenging the words that they're using. They're trying to hide something, and we need to expose it.
Assembly, I can use my own as an example.
You see now.
I bought the television sets there.
You see now.
I bought the fridges there.
You see, so that's not infrastructure. Those are equipments that you buy into the, if we're going to even use technical terms, infrastructure. You can say the National Assembly is infrastructure itself. But the things you put in there, they're not infrastructure. They're not. Because they are replaceable. You can update them. They're not infrastructure. And the amount of money that you guys are getting, compared to what people are not getting 30,000 naira to live every month. And some of them are even owed month after month. We need to challenge all of this. Let's go ahead.
I robbed the place. I painted the thing. I subscribed to.
See, he's trying to justify. We need transparency. We don't want to hear what you did. We want to know what the funds are doing. You talking about what you've done is trying to distract. We're not personalizing this. You don't need to personalize it. We are talking about the transparency of the process, and it is lacking transparency right now. Let's go forward.
DSTV myself. So
we're not interested in what you're doing personally. That's up to you. That's up to you. We are asking for the 70 billion. And all of this now sounds to me like an excuse. Those of you watching, please leave a comment on this. How do you see this? We need to challenge this point by point, literally.
If I am leaving, after when I have all the receipt and I showed it at the gate and I showed it to the sergeant at arms, showed it to the management, am I not free to go away with my with?
You see now? You see? And who, the money that you're using to buy those things, where does it come from? We, the people, are the ones paying for it. We need to challenge this nonsense. Look, you have the power. Stop this prayer nonsense. And I'm calling on every single citizen. You sticking onto this church nonsense and this religious nonsense. Wake up. These guys are looting on a daily basis. This is the power that you need. Your power that you see here is more powerful than the Bible or the Quran. You need to use these powers. I'm reading it out to you. Begin to exercise your powers right now, collectively in your community. Sovereignty belongs to the people. You are part of the people. People of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. You are sovereign. You can hold them to account. Begin to do so collectively in your communities right now. People should go and call this guy in their community, call him to a town hall meeting to explain why it is that they've refused to give us a breakdown, a written down breakdown of how the 70 billion naira has been spent. You can do that. Now, Section 14.2c, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. When they tell you, oh no, it's government job, you have no business in participating, you quote this to them, that this gives you the power to question anybody in government. This gives you the power to question anybody in government. And that's the breakdown we're trying to provide for you. Those of you watching this, please take a screenshot of what we're showing you on the screen and begin to use it in your local communities. That is the only way you will get accountability and be able to hold those you elect officials to account and begin to get the infrastructure within your community, because there'll be nowhere for them to hide. Let's go forward.
What I bought with my money. Now.
Your money. Who paid you the money? Who paid you that money? Who paid you that money? We the people paid you that money. Let's go forward. We need to challenge this nonsense.
If that has happened, then where do you want any other person that is moving to that office to get infrastructure to use?
The fact that somebody is coming in and talking like this self-entitlement, and ignoring the fact that sovereignty belongs to we the people, they are answerable to us. And it's like you were telling us, how dare we challenge you? And you've forgotten your place. This is why I'm saying it every month now. Every month. Beg your pardon. Let me just do something quickly here. Every month, I am calling on all of our people in local government areas to begin to call a meeting where the State House of Assembly, your local government chairman, State House of Assembly members, local House of Reps, and senators come to the meeting. And you read to this, you have to remind them of their role and how remind them of what they're supposed to be doing for you. By reading this to them on a monthly basis. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That means that they are serving you. You are a sovereign. And you have a right to call them to meetings. By participation, calling them to a meeting is you participating in your governance on a monthly basis. We must begin to do that in our communities right now. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. This is something we must do religiously. because these people have a self-entitlement that is unacceptable, because they think, oh, it's my money. That money that you're talking about, we paid you. You are accountable to the people. Look at that. Listen.
Now, in my new office, as room 323 in the Senate, I had to buy tables by myself.
We're not interested in what you have to buy. We're not interested. And even if the amount of money that you're getting, you can do that. But we're not even asking you to do that. We're saying provide accountability. Which is it? You said 70 billion is for that. So if you're on the one hand, you're telling us, oh, the 70 billion is for infrastructure, and now you're saying you are going to provide it. Which is it? Is the 70 billion to provide that table, or are you doing it? Because you are saying two things at the same time now. Your words are saying two things at the same time. You're saying that the money is meant for infrastructure, but now you're saying, oh, and to replenish the National Assembly, and now you're saying you're paying for it. Which is it? Can you see why we need a document showing the breakdown of that 70 billion, where it's been spent? We need that. We don't want to hear your story because you're confusing us in the discussion right now.
Including window blinds. I did that for myself.
You see that now. We don't, okay, now that you say that, we want the evidence of the breakdown of the 70 billion. So we can be able to strip out the bit you paid for and the bit that was paid for. We need the breakdown of that 70 billion first and foremost. We hear you. But to be clear, because you said that money is meant for infrastructure and for the building. So now it seems to me that you're saying to me, oh, right, this money is meant for that. I paid for it. So that is two payments for the same thing. The public pay for it and you pay for it. Could it be that you furnish it yourself and then you charge the money back to the 70 billion? Could it be that? Could it be that you saying, oh, you're paying for this, and then when you pay for it, you charge a huge fee? I don't know. And then you claim the money back from the National Assembly. It's possible. But this is why we need transparency. We need a document to show the breakdown of that money. That is what we need. We need a document that shows the 70, and in every government department, there has to be this kind of transparency from here on. If the people are to have any confidence in the governance, there has to be transparency. Let's go forward.
Even including air conditioners, I have to do that for myself.
Yeah, but then how do we know that you're not reclaiming it back from the government? How do we know that? How do we know that?
So after doing that one, do you want that caution to continue?
Can you see now? We see where he's moving the discussion to now. He's made it personal. We're talking about 100 million naira going missing, and among themselves. And now he's now talking. I'm buying this yourself. We need to challenge this. Let's go forward.
Is it not government structure? Is it not government infrastructure? Will anybody take it away?
It is not government infrastructure.
In any federal ministry or state ministry, or even in the local government. In the local government,
furniture is not infrastructure. Furniture is not infrastructure. Furnitures, those things you mentioned, they are not infrastructure. They are furnitures. They are things that are replaceable. They only last for a few years, 5, 10 years, then you change it. Infrastructure is the building itself. We can give you that much. But those things are not infrastructure. Let's get it right. Let's go forward.
See the chairman of a local government that buys the share that he uses in the local government, people councillors in the local government. In the states, is it the governor or the commissioners that will go and pay? Is it the commissioner that will go and pay?
Can you see what he's talking about? We don't. These guys are deliberately trying to ensure that there's no transparency. We must demand for the breakdown of those figures, because for all we know, he can say I pay for that, but he paid for it and then he claims it back from the same 70 billion naira. It's possible, but unless and until we have the breakdown of where those funds have the breakdown of those funds, we cannot believe anything he says. We cannot believe a word of what he's saying here.
His office. In the National Assembly, we don't even have official vehicles.
Look at that.
This is information not generally known. In fact, a lot of it even surprises me here that because people had the impression that National Assembly is a public office and all facilities, including accommodation, and all of this had been provided for the National Assembly, furnishing even in your personal residences. This is the impression people have until one is hearing from you now that if people really knew, you guys actually expend your own money to do all of these things. That I'm
let's be very clear. How do we know that the money they spend, they don't claim back? How do we know that the money they say they spend on buying things, that they don't also go and put that receipt to claim the money back from this 70 billion naira? How do we know that? We don't know. We don't know. This is something that they may be doing behind the scenes that we don't know. But we need to know the breakdown of that figure, where it's going to. So that's why we need the accountability from the new government, from this new dispensation. That 70 billion naira, they have to tell us the breakdown. They have to give us a breakdown, a sheet of paper that actually explains the breakdown of how that funds are going to be dispersed, and on what they're going to be dispersed on. That would be a reference point, something that that's applicable to everybody, those who are asking and those who are using the funds. Because that's the problem we are lacking. There is no transparency in our governance. This is evidenced by what is happening right now.
Able to, I'm wagering, was not generally known.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. When I was outside, when I have not contested to come to the National Assembly, I was thinking the way you are even talking.
We're not interested in that. We're not interested in that. We're telling you to provide transparency. Everything that is going on now, you can see that there is no transparency in our process. There is no transparency in our governance. They just want you to believe, want you to believe whatever they tell you. They'll come out and say, this is what we decided, and that's it. They're not going to give you a breakdown, blow-by-blow detail of how the funds are going to be dispersed. They do that among themselves, and they tell you this is what we've done. There's no evidence. That is no longer good enough. It's not good enough. Because why? We've been encouraging our people. That's why I've been on this drive. This is something we need to do now. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all these powers and authority. We, the people, were the sovereigns, and they have to be answerable to us. And I'm calling on everybody, every community now wants begin to call the local government chairman, state of assembly members, House of Reps and senators, and even governors to meetings. And at that meeting, you read this section 14.2a to them to remind them of what their role is to you exactly. You remind them. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. We need to remind them that. So when they're sitting in those roles and thinking I'm this and that, they have to remember that they're serving we, the people to whom sovereignty belongs, collectively. We need to do that. And all of us must come. You need to begin to participate in your governance as a citizen. The power to do so is vested. Section 14.2c. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Part of the provisions is that you are a sovereign. And as a sovereign, you can participate in your governance, hold them to account. Whatever they're saying to you, they have to answer you because you are the sovereign. Let's go ahead.
You are even talking. I was thinking like that. I didn't know. When I came inside, I found out that all those are just falsehood, fast.
You see what he's trying to do. He's moved away from the central question, the 100 million naira. Now he's made it personal and might try to confuse you and trying to. This is what they do. We don't want to. All he's doing is just telling stories. I'm sorry, with the greatest of respect, but unless you provide a transparent document that is a reference point for everybody, including himself, that we can go, okay, this is 70 billion naira. This is how much they said they will spend on that, X, Y, and Z, and so on and so forth. That we can all reference. Everything he's saying here is all conjecture. It means nothing. It's trying to take our mind away from the main question, the 70 billion naira and the 100 million naira each that they've been reported to give. They need to provide account for that. They have to be accountable for that 70 billion naira. We need to see that. Because that 70 billion naira, when they provide that, they know that when they provide that, then they will have to explain where the 100 million naira has gone. They don't want to provide it. This is where we start now. On this new dispensation, this is where we start now. We must all join hands. Every community must go and demand, call on your state, local government chairman, state of assembly. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Right now, because it's the National Assembly, the 70 billion, you have to call your House of Reps and your senators to a town hall meeting and ask them about the 70 billion. You have the power to do so. I am showing you on the screen. You have the power to do so. The power to do so. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Collectively in your community, you can call a meeting, a town hall meeting, demand for the House of Reps and the senators to come to the meeting to explain to you where the 70 billion has gone and where, and then you need a written breakdown figure They don't need them to tell you, but they need to come and provide you a detailed breakdown, a paper that is authorized and signed by the President of Senate that says this is how much they have spent. That is how they spend the 70 billion in all areas. And they bring that document to you. And you can now question them on that basis. This is what we must begin. This is what it means to participate in your governance. Because it says, 14.2c, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. As a sovereign, you can participate and you can demand for such a document. Please, let us take the opportunity to begin to hold these people to account right now. Because everything he's saying there is conjecture. Conjecture.
Physics.
Look at that.
Imaginative, imaginary.
Look at that.
Tantalizing mirages.
Look at that.
I just found out that all those were, number one, no.
And when you see, everything he's saying is bearing out what I've just said now. I've said before. I've said it, that the governance has ensured that from the age of 4, our successive government have made sure from the age of 4, we know about Quran, we know about the Bible, we know the laws in the Quran, know the laws in the Bible, but we don't know our own constitutional laws that is being used to rule us, and those laws are more powerful than the Bible and the Quran combined. And now he's proved that by what saying, what I learned is the mirage and everything else. And that is what we need to be teaching to our kids from the age of 4 as well. So he's confirming what I've said on one hand, but on the other side, he's refusing to give information, and he must provide the information because we are the sovereigns. Let's go ahead.
No official driver for a National Assembly member.
Look at that.
No legislator. Either you are a senator or you are a House of Representatives member. You don't have an official.
Just because he said so doesn't make it right. We need the evidence. Provide the evidence for the 70 billion naira, the breakdown. And it has to be signed by the President of Senate and the deputy. All of them have to sign that this is how much the 70 billion naira, a breakdown. This is 70 billion naira that was supposed to us. This is how much, this is where it's been used, breakdown. So we can all track it. For each and every member. We need that breakdown. We need it.
You don't have.
You just telling us all of this. You are just saying it. It can be true or untrue. We don't have the evidence to back what you're saying up. We don't.
You don't have an official driver.
You
don't have an official security. They don't give you accommodation. You seek accommodation for yourself.
From what we understand on that particular point, there's reimbursement for the accommodation as well. But you see, again, we need a breakdown of all of this. We need a breakdown of it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak to the power. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen Network on YouTube. Hit the notification button. And of course, give us a thumbs up. And of course, Oduduwa TV Radio 2 as well. Help us grow the platform. The kind of information we're providing here, you can see you will not find anywhere else, because we're now challenging the very system of governance itself. We're questioning. You must question them because you have that right. And we're trying to enlighten our people to participate in that process using the powers on the screen. Take a screenshot of what you see on the screen and begin to use it in your community. This is something that will help ensure that you end up you have good roads, water, light, hospital in your community by participating in your governance. Let's go ahead.
In the National Assembly, even as a senator, my housing allowance per month will just come to about 135,000 naira. Now that is a month.
Where's the evidence? Where is the evidence? We want to see this written down. We don't trust anything these people are telling us. We don't tell us, and the people who are suffering. And that, when we talk about fixing the refineries, you see now, they don't want to fix the refineries. They want to keep imported oil. They want to keep taking that money and keep sucking it out. And they don't want to give accountability. We need transparency in this process. Without transparency, Nigeria cannot improve. Without transparency, let's go forward.
And then when you compute that one for a year, that's about 1.6 million naira in Abuja.
You see that?
What is the quality of house that you get with 1.6 million naira? Only a room and at the outskirts. So,
you see what he's doing now. You see what he's doing. He's moved away from the 100 million naira question and now talking about their personal. You see what they're trying to do? To try and make you feel sorry for them. They are answerable to us. And we must ensure that there's transparency. That is what we must focus on.
Thank you very much for being. I beg your pardon, Senator. I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. I've got to go on a break now. Okay. I'm sorry. Apparently, there's a problem with you hearing me, but I'll just take a break now. We'll come right back and we'll continue with this. Thank you very much indeed for your forthrightness on this issue, which is aimed at dispelling notions that mistaken notions that people might have had. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please.
So we'll be right back the same. But
once again, I say thank you for sort of explaining all of this. Now, is there something of a communication breakdown for as high up an office as the NLC National Assistant General Secretary to be making such assertions in public?
My take for that is that everybody wants to say what they like to believe. And people like to play to gallery. People like to play to gallery.
To prevent people from playing to the gallery, the National Assembly must provide a breakdown of the disbursement of the 70 billion naira they were provided from the purse of the nation. The people demand to know the breakdown of that 70 billion naira because sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority, as stated in the constitution. So we are entitled to know the breakdown. If you don't provide the breakdown, then there's lack of transparency. And lack of transparency means that money will be looted, as we all know. Successive government, the successive national assemblies have looted and continue to loot. Unless with transparency, such as we are demand for above, as stated here, you cannot get a good governance. And that's what we're asking the question. So please, those of you watching, remember, sovereignty belongs to you. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Section 14(2)(c). The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. You have the right to hold those in the office to account. And when somebody raises an accusation, what they must do first of all is provide transparency, provide the document to show the exact breakdown. So that stops anything. Provide the document. Provide the breakdown. Provide that document.
They are just, it's like social media. When you see what people celebrate on social media, at times you just marvel.
See.
When you read what people write, you just marvel. That do we even want a country? So the NLC too are just beseeched that they don't just play to gallery, because it's a very consensus, that it is a conscience of the people, and whatever they want to push out there, whatever they want to believe, they must do fact finding very well. They must ask questions, because they are very open to asking.
You have failed to provide the breakdown of the 70 billion naira disbursement to the National Assembly. And that is the nub of the problem. That is the real issue. You must provide that for the public so we can go at any... We have the right to do so. We have the right to know because we are the sovereigns. We have the right to question everybody because we are the sovereigns. Again, I'll remind you, Senator Adaramodu, Yemi Adaramodu, we have the right to question you. We have the right to question you because sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. The people have the right to question you. You can debate all you want, but that's the fact in black and white. It is in our constitution, and we're encouraging our people to begin to use those powers. Section 14(2)(c). The participation by the people in their government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. You, the people, have the power to question you. Your job is to answer those questions. If you don't want to answer questions, don't be in governance. Don't be appointed, or don't go for elections. Then nobody will bother you. But our role as citizens is to question. We are the sovereigns, and you are answerable to we, the people, collectively. Go ahead.
Questions. Majority of the workers in the National Assembly are members of the NLC. They can even ask questions from them and get facts from them.
We're not interested in stories. Yeah, this is stories. We are the central issue. Where is the transparency? You're not dealing with the transparency issue. It is not, the process is not transparent.
What is a legislator?
Senator, let me bring on our first caller today. Senator, I beg your pardon. Christopher in Warri. Good morning to you, sir.
Let's hear.
Good morning, Okuyori.
Let's hear.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling.
I've been listening to your guest in Abuja studio, which is the senator. Okuyori, please, I want to speak just like 2 minutes. One, I think some of us who work for this government, we are beginning to see some certain things which the National Assemblies are doing that are not in accordance to the guidelines or rules of the APC or Progressive Congress. You see, we that stood for good governance, like with the coordinators of Tinubu Shetima for good governance in various levels across all the 36 states in Nigeria, including FCT.
Okay.
The reason why we were not worried when the former CBN the suspended CBN governor, refused to roll out policies, which Asiwaju, who is now our president, was prevented from getting funds for his campaign. We stood in our various states to make sure we campaign for this government, we work for this government to come to stay so that at the end of the day, good governance will be delivered to all Nigeria in all levels. But it's annoying seeing even the senator in your studio telling Nigeria, telling the whole world that money, they have not received money, but they are friendly that money, such money is available. For goodness sake, I think these our senators, they should begin to sit down and think about Nigerians, what Nigerians are passing through. Because if you are remove oil fuel subsidy, I think the basic every Nigeria, what they need most is electricity. What they need most is transportation. So giving each household 12,000 naira, I don't think it's an insult to Nigeria as every citizen of this country. Now, look at people that they have given up appointment in this government. Those are the same people which Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave money for his own campaign. His own money he gave to them to do the campaign during the electionary period. They already spent their cover. And we take you back to September 24, 2022. Your studio, TVC, was in Abuja, where we did the inauguration of a Tinubu campaign organization. Your sister station, Channels TV, was there. My national coordinator, Agnes Ame, spent her own money to make sure he campaigned for this government. At the end of the day, what we are seeing now is nothing to write home about. So then those senators should go back and re-live and think about Nigerians. If they know they want this man to deliver good governance to Nigeria, they should put all this money aside. Because even his own personal house, how many times he used 12 million to furnish his own house?
Very good.
How many times in a month or in a year? You used to every 4 years, you furnish your house. What is different? This government must do something different from what other people have been doing. It should not be a game as usual. So we should call a spade a spade. Let those who believe in this government, those who believe in good governance, to channel their lead policy to the government. So they focus on those that are suffering, not them that even collected money from Asiwaju during the campaign period. Because most of them, most of them, they go this ministerial, most of them, they are being given appointment after collecting money from this man. So there are people who spend their money believing in Asiwaju, and those people are nowhere to be found.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christopher, for calling in. Senator Daramodu, I guess what Christopher was really speaking to there was the sensitivity of National Assembly members to the actuality on ground that most Nigerians, of which National Assembly members cannot include themselves, most Nigerians are having a very difficult time making ends meet. And so he's probably implying, he didn't say so, that for you to be speaking glibly about this in the face of someone who maybe is doing well if he has managed 2 meals a day, never mind 3, I guess that's what he's speaking to, that it's still speaking of of plenty. It's still speaking of substance, what you have narrated, contrary to what most Nigerians at the bottom of the pyramid are experiencing. That must be what that gentleman...
Mr. Yori. Oh, yes, Mr. Yori, even all what I've said are just tailored towards what my brother from Wari said, that we are not even making any demand for anything, that this is even the situation. We are not even making any demand. But someone coming out to just plant a lie and falsehood against National Assembly members, that it is very unfortunate, that it is not good, that nobody is sharing anything, nobody is having anything, nobody is even asking for anything. Even during the period that when we were supposed to even have the holiday, we did not even go on holiday. We were there, we were doing our job, even till night. So we are not demanding for anything extra. I said that if that is the situation, that nobody, members of the public, whoever, must not just plant a lie against National Assembly members. That is what we are saying. Nobody, there's no time that either the Senate or House of Representatives make any special demand or any demand, either personal or general, on the president or the executive or anywhere or anyhow else. And that's what I was saying. Even what my brother was saying from Wari is what I believe too. Is what we all believe too. You know, all of us, we are here in the National Assembly.
Senator, I beg your pardon. I have another caller on the line. Mr. Yakub called in from Dokwemu. Good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and God continue to bless you. And then thank you for giving the first caller 2 minutes. I think I have to touch as well. If you give me that, I'll be very happy.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, actually, I totally agree with the first caller, and then also believe in what Senator is saying. But the question is this: we have journalists in this country, and then I believe investigative journalism needs to play a major role here. What the senator is telling us, I think the journalists need to move in and do the findings and coming back to this studio to come and tell us the truth behind it. Yes, the senator needs to furnish their offices. If it is truly that this office has not been finished before, what stopped the I think 8 or 9 assembly to come and tell us, look at what is happening. Until now that Senator Adam Olekun is telling us this now. Me personally, I believe a lot of money is going to I believe that a lot of money is going to their pocket because look at what he said. He said that he bought television, he used it. Who believe that the state will use his own personal money to buy all those things? Because we need them to give us a good law to change drastically the situation of this country. But Tijori, I will say that I think I need to chip this in. I need you, Tijori, personally, to follow down in Gilari, Andrew Gilari, the spokesperson of Mr. President, because I knew that it is a friend of this house. Please ask in Gilari what makes all their institutions to increase the price of the institutions, including the senator, because you need to take this back to the National Assembly. Nigerian citizens are crying out because you remove the subsidy. At the end of the day, all the tertiary institutions are beginning to hike the price of the institutions. How? Where do you want us to move it? How do you want us to get about it? Some people that pay 25,000 naira, you keep it to 100,000. They don't want all the Nigerian citizens to go to school anymore.
Okay.
Why is it that? Call upon Ijulani and then make sure that the studio
exactly.
For the National Assembly.
Exactly.
That's also why all the tertiary students in this country,
exactly.
Why?
All right.
Why?
Okay, Mr. Yakub, thank you very much for calling in. Senator, all of this is still pointing, going by the comments of viewers calling in, is still pointing to a sense of relative opulence from public servants vis-a-vis the ordinary Nigerian.
Mr. Yori, let me give you a response. I love what that my brother said. We have journalists. We have media people. Instead of media men to even be pushing about the narratives of anybody, let them do the investigation. We have media men in the National Assembly. They saw legislators when they were buying television, moving them into various offices. When they were buying fridges, moving them into various offices. They saw them. And for example, somebody like me, like any other person, we came from somewhere. I have been in the corporate world. I reached the peak. So if now I'm in an office, and then that office is not provided with television sets, will I just sit down there, just watching the walls, without buying television for myself? If I'm in an office where there are no chairs, will I just sit down there,
just
sitting down on the floor? And I have to provide chairs for myself.
You see,
as from media group that are in the National
this
Assembly,
man is not.
If National Assembly members are not buying chairs and tables by themselves,
I just wanted to get it in there. In spite of all those things, Senator, you are saying that in spite of what you are saying, the explanations you are giving, 100 million naira does not even come up at all.
Exactly.
But beyond that, you and your colleagues are actually expending monies to furnish and make, make proper for work, your offices, your various offices. As I was saying, many people are going to be surprised that you happen to provide your own curtains, drapes, chairs, furnishing, because they know there's furnishing allowance. And so they are speaking to the point
exactly
of a lack of sensitivity.
You see?
The perception of a lack of sensitivity to the real condition of the ordinary
people.
Nigerian, and all that you are saying would appear to be opulent.
I keep reminding you.
Mr. Yori, you know we have two major problems.
Look, use this
Problem
powers,
one
my
is
people.
that the media
Use this power.
should not just push out narratives by anybody. Let them do their investigations.
See,
I have even opened myself.
See, all he's trying to do is to now try and put it back to the media now. And if there's questions, people have a right to question, and they must provide the answer. We need a breakdown of what is actually being paid to whom, vis-a-vis this 70 billion naira and the 100 million naira. They need to provide that answer because we, the sovereigns, are asking for it. And their job is to provide what we, the citizens, ask for as sovereigns. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority, as stated in this document that you see on the screen. I urge us all, please take a screenshot of this and begin to share it. Because we have the right to question these people. They're not doing anything for the people. They are lining their pockets with our money. I'm not saying the senator personally, but the general trend is that billions have gone missing and nobody has been held accountable. And we need to put a stop. The only way this will stop is our active participation and our governance on a daily basis.
I said, look, come to me as the spokesperson.
Let me come back to you, Senator. Let me come back to you because
So he's a spokesperson of the 10th Senate now, Adara Modu. Then he needs to provide the answer. He's a spokesperson, but it's not the person responsible. A spokesperson must go back to his to the Senate president and tell them that the people want a breakdown of the 70 billion naira, how it's been dispersed, to whom and when, and all of that, and to make clear if those who have furnished the offices themselves, if they are going to be reimbursed from that 70 billion naira. These are the kind of questions we want to ask. Let's go ahead.
Must go on a break now. I'm going to come.
So let me just go. It's going to go on a break again. I'm not going to attend to that. 1 second.
Okay, welcome back, and our guest is Senator Adara Modu, and thank you very much, Senator, for staying with us, and also for, as it were,
those of you watching, how do you feel this is going? Is he answering your questions? Those of you following this, how do you feel this is going? Is the Senator Adara Modu, Yemi Adara Modu, is he answering your questions? Is he giving you confidence? Do you have confidence in the Senate based on his answers? I'm just asking, do you have confidence? Do you trust what he's saying? How do you feel about that? Again, please don't forget, go ahead and subscribe to Season Ewa on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up. Please subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, help us reach more people. Yeah, I'm currently being banned for a week, but we'll be back on YouTube. But subscribe to Season Ewa and the backup channel as well. Please, and also, I urge you all, memorize these words. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Section 14.2c. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. You need to know those two so that you can begin to hold your governors to account. And anything they say to you now, they are answerable to you. You can use these powers to hold your governors to account. It's time we begin to use it. It is in our constitution.
That I think is going to be important to people who didn't know better, because not very many people, before you're telling us this morning, knew that what you're saying is that the National Assembly members actually assumed office with, as far as your workspaces and your personal accommodations were concerned, they were virtual shells that had to be stuffed by the people coming in. Now, many people didn't realize that, I'm sure. Because it wasn't the way things might have been seen, because people are used to furnished accommodation, and certainly in the office. But you've just explained, you've mentioned a number of things that the place will be uninhabitable, and in the explanation was that these monies were made, the monies had been made available to the National Assembly for new members to be able to do their work well. But I just wanted to be very clear about this. As you are explaining, you are saying that it is bunkum that assembly members received 100 million naira each for whatever purpose. It was said, Comrade Comrade Christopher, Senator Christopher Onyeka, the NLC National Assistant General Secretary, in his interview with the Punch newspaper, had alleged that 100 million naira was being received by each senator. And you have debunked that, as has your colleague in the House of Representatives. Now, the explanations you are making, in case anybody joined us midstream, is not that this is how or this is what the money is for. You are saying that 100 million naira never came up at all and has not been received by anybody. But because you are being so copious in explaining it to us, I didn't want somebody to get the wrong impression. But I still am saying, sir, that you probably will understand, because you yourself, you've been in the trenches, so to speak, for democracy, and you realize the pains of the ordinary Nigerians. And so maybe they're looking at all of this, including some of what you're saying as, you see now, they are enjoying. He's even talking about all these things that are important, the DSTV subscription, television, and all of that. I don't have a DSTV subscription. Luckily, I don't need to tell you anything about the ordinary Nigerian, because you well know this. It's not today that you've been in the trenches for democracy, so to speak. Can you appreciate where people are coming from, Senator?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I know, and those people that are purveyors of this false food, they want to capitalize on what is happening, just to paint the National Assembly in very,
we're going to watch it to the end. I may not add. We're going to watch it to the very end. I may not say much more. Let us hear his interactions. But please, you be the judge as well from what he's saying. Do you have confidence in the system? Do you have confidence? There is no transparency. I'm sure you'll agree with me, there is no transparency in the process. But let's go ahead.
Opprobrious colors. That is just the thing. Because number one is that, like when I said, even DSTV is subscribed by ourselves. That is the list that can even be provided for in any office.
No,
in any
that's
office
not true.
In Nigeria, even
that's
private
not cool.
and public.
That's not true.
They put television there. The television has to be watched. And now that I'm on set, television set, am I not going to watch it on television? Am I not going to subscribe to watch it? Okay. Am I not going to do that? So I have to do that. I will not wait for the National Assembly to come and do that for me. And mind you, my brother.
Are you being reimbursed?
Brother, I want to tell you something. Because me, like you said, I've been in the trenches yes, to even fight for this, our democracy. And I hold it in a very, very, very high distance for me. Very priceless. Now, let me tell you something. Whenever legislators resume, I will tell you, I will reveal so many things to you. Whenever legislators resume, don't go to where they are being inaugurated. Sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you because I do want to hear some of those many things you reveal to us, but I want to also include Tony, who has called in from Edo State and has been holding on for a while. Tony, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
I'm glad to be on to you this morning. When I read what the Labour people said about 100 million to the National Assembly members, and then 12 people sharing a bag of rice, I saw it all as pure blackmail. To me, it was just a desire to turn the populace against the federal government and the National Assembly members. I'm glad that you have put the spokesman for the Senate out to discuss this thing. I don't know how that would have been possible at this time, where 100 million to one person, and then you say 12 people. There's no all the palliative. There's nowhere 12 people are sharing one bag. This has been robbed, no doubt about it. But please let us not turn the masses against government. They are making effort to make sure things work out. But the Labour, if they want to go on strike, they should not turn the masses against the federal government and National Assembly members. Please, they should be honest sometimes in what they say. Come out with the truth. And there be journalists who carry this thing should go and do proper investigation. God bless you. I don't have much to say on it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony, calling in from Edo State. Back to you, Senator. You said that you would share quite a number of things with us to enlighten us further.
Excuse me. It seems as if the Labour is targeting National Assembly. The other time, when they wanted to come out to even explain things to the government, it was the National Assembly they targeted. They even pulled down our gates. Why? Why the National Assembly? What? The National Assembly has its own functions. like the other arms of government, the judiciary, and then the executive. So why the National Assembly all the time? Like I told you, is it possible in this time, even any time for that matter? Any time for that matter. When Mr. President came up with palliative, it was the National Assembly immediately, expressly, they approved for the 500 billion naira and $800 million for the masses. Because the masses too, that is where I belong to. I will go back to Ilawe Ekiti, where I come from. And whenever I get back home, everybody will be on me too. If they are well served and they have everything they want, do they need to come to me?
How are you seeing
and
this?
moreover, many of us, majority of us in the National Assembly, we have a life. We had a life before we came to the National Assembly. Many of us were ex-governors, ex-ministers, ex-this and ex-that. They are in the National Assembly to contribute to the development and progress of Nigeria.
No.
Not to come and milk, not
sorry.
to come and make money. So the thing is that the Labour knows and they understands that whenever they measure that mongers amount, that people are scooping it away from the coffers of government, then the people will just march out against them. It is not so, and it is not good. It's very unpatriotic. It's not national. It's not nationalistic. They should not. They should desist in doing that one. They know deep down in their heart that that is not happening. They know. Even when we came out 2 months ago, 1 month ago, and we were talking about all issues, they still decided not to believe. Not to believe, not that they don't even believe, is that they just wanted to make a point, and then this government is all about 3 months. Can you expect the government just to give us everything and turn Nigeria to a utopian society in 3 months or 4 years? Do you expect the government to bring the El Dorado to take us to heaven in 3 months or 4 years? No. And the government has been doing her own. The palliative has been there. Each state has been giving some part of it. And many states have started doing what they are supposed to do. Now, if there is anything, must the Labour just join the National Assembly on false, very, 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 very wrong, very, very mischievous basis that we are taking 100 million naira from where? Who is giving it? To whose account are they paying it?
Let me bring on Kolawole.
Where?
Mr. Kolawole has called in from Ifako. Good morning, Mr. Kolawole.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, I'm Kolawole from Ifako, Lagos.
Please go ahead.
Yes, this is just one thing I want to say about these NLC people. There's something I can observe about them. Because it seems they are still campaigning. They are still campaigning. All they are doing is just fighting the government, fighting the government, fighting the government. Everything that the government will bring out, the next thing they will do is to look on how to counter them. This, what they call palliative that is, states have already been dishing out palliatives. Why are they not going to states and monitor the way states are rolling out the palliatives? But they won't do that. Or by Tinubu is who they will be fighting. National Assembly is where they will be going and fighting. This fuel subsidy that they remove, who are the people working in the refineries? Is it not these people? These are the people that they are the same people that are working in the refineries. They will not go there. They will be shouting and shouting, carrying the placard everywhere. What they are trying to do is to paint this government bad, paint the National Assembly bad, so that to win the sympathy of the people to fight against the government. And Nigeria cannot grow with this. We cannot be saying we are looking for investors everywhere, all over the world. And in the media, we'll be seeing Nigerians pulling the country down, pulling the government down. And we are looking for people. We are looking for investors to come to Nigeria. How will they come?
Yeah.
How will they come?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kolawole. Appreciate your call.
In another hand, you are telling them Nigeria not safe. In one hand, you are telling them come. Why is it everything that is not good in Nigeria that this labor and people are always pushing out?
All right. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Kolawole. Senator, Kolawole there touched on another aspect of these things. There are those who believe that, look, the way labor conducts itself sometimes, it leads some to say what Mr. Kolawole has just said, that it's almost as if they are continuing to campaign and indeed are acting as a virulent opposition. Now, this is what people are saying, because they say things like, in the light of one bag of rice being shared in a ward, and we're hearing about those kind of things. They can be quite incendiary. I don't know what you think about, again, that assertion from some members of the public that Labour is carrying on almost like an opposition party in its own right.
Well, we know where that is coming from. I don't want to join issues directly with the Labour, because we know that those people belong to a party, and then even when Labour said a party is their own and they are members of that party, and that party is up in arms with the federal government of APC. We know that one. I don't want to canvass party matters here, and I don't want to canvass partisan matters here. Then let us just go to the nitty-gritty. Let us go to the soul and the meat of the topic, and then the discourse. Is this how we are going to build a nation? Because the Labour, like I said, is a conscience of the people, and the conscience of the people must speak the truth always. The conscience of the people must speak with facts always. And like one contributor suggested that, look, let us even commission journalists to go and even investigate. Don't we have investigative journalists again in Nigeria to even ask questions, to go into the deeper scene of it and know what a legislator is even taking away. Now, like I said, we do oversight functions. If I want to do oversight to Akwa Ibom from Abuja, the government and the National Assembly is not going to give me money to go there.
Is that right?
I personally,
is that right?
Yes, I personally will find my way to Akwa Ibom to do it. There is no official vehicle for me to go there to do it. I personally have to do that one by myself. And like I told you, I said that there are so many things that I will reveal. At inauguration, you will see so many bankers coming around to inauguration centers. And people will just be saying, oh, the bankers have come. They know the legislators have come. They know that they are going to collect big money at inauguration. No, it is not so. The bankers are there. They want you to come and borrow money, because they know that for 4 years you are going to earn salary. It's like a civil servant. Even if you are on level 2 and 3 or 4 in the civil service, bankers will come to you and say, come and borrow to the capacity of your salary, because they know your salary is going to be stable for 4 years. Now, and it is this money borrowing that National Assembly legislators do, that they use even renting houses in Abuja, because what they give them as house rent can only give you a room, not even a room and parlor, not even self-contained in Abuja. So, and now, if I now come here as a senator,
what you just said is astounding. What you're saying is astounding. Yes. That senators do not even get a sort of a minimum housing allowance. People felt differently, you know, on all of this matter. But YS in Amu Wardofin has called in the meanwhile. Let me not keep him on the line indefinitely. Good morning, YS.
Uncle Yori, are you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. I'm greeting your guests over there. But my question is this. We know in the Labour Congress, the TUC is taking over from them. But the new minister called them for a meeting. The TUC attend the meeting. The NLC walk away. And before the minister, you are telling the whole nation, there's no minister, why are we going to talk with? But the minister now resume, call you for a meeting, you to attend the meeting, NFA to attend the meeting. That's it. And you see, NLC, a political party. That first question to you, Mr. Yori, and for your guests over there, they say you took 100 million. Some of us know that it can't be possible. But can you tell the whole nation, please, for the palliative, how much is each legislator got? And if you don't get anything, let Nigeria know, please. Good morning to you, Kuyori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for calling in. Senator Daramodu, I just need to say again that as you are explaining these things, just in case somebody joined us in the middle of the program, you are not explaining how 100 million naira that everybody got is being used. You are saying that, first of all, that is a categorical falsehood and that nothing like that happened. But then you're going further to say that from your own resources, each member of the National Assembly, and this was a bit of a shock to me, has to virtually pay his own way. Everything he has to do in that place, he has to pay for it himself. So, please continue.
Ogayori, I sit here before Nigerians, and with the oath that I've sworn to, that no legislator, either House of Representatives or the Senate, is given any cover as palliative. Anywhere, palliative for what? We are even the ones that are giving palliative to our constituents. Palliative for what? Are they going to give me rice?
You
or they give me,
you are working for the citizens.
Are they going to give me semovita? Are they going to give me money? How? So it is even we that we do palliatives for our own constituents.
Please remember something. Please remember, constituents are sovereigns. Constituents are sovereigns.
Everybody is at home now.
Please.
Almost all of us are at home
constituents
now.
Are
is there
sovereigns.
Any legislator
constituents are sovereigns.
Not less than 50 visitors of his constituents per day. See? And when they come, you have to do palliative too.
See?
But nobody, like I said, none, either officially or unofficially, in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, that was given one cover.
I'm showing
as
you.
Palliative.
Sovereignty belongs to Nigeria from whom the free constitutional
Let me bring on the president.
You are the part of your governance. All of this is
Taiwo in Abuja.
We're almost finished anyway.
Good morning to you, Mr. Taiwo. Are you of the National Assembly?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Please, I want to contribute to the program.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Uncle Yori. And I want to greet our distinguished senator, Senator Adaramudu. Well done and God bless you.
Okay.
I just want to say, like a former legislator, that I'm aware that all what is said is the truth.
Okay, you're a former legislator yourself. Okay.
Yeah, you get to National Assembly, you need to buy your fridge, you need to buy your water dispenser, you need to buy everything that you have said. Because number one, we need to keep the grant running. We need to start working immediately. And the provision for it might not come maybe till after 2 years. They've gotten a fridge that the House committee.
So they get reimbursed. They get reimbursed in the end.
There's 100 fridge for 360 members. There's 50 fridge for senator. You can't wait with that for you to get your water dispenser, your AC. So what he is saying is the truth and nothing but the truth. And I think the way out, what is the way out? The way out is that we cannot be doing the same thing. We do it often and we get the right results. And before the inauguration of another assembly, let's assume this 10th assembly is almost over. Before the inauguration of the 11th assembly, I think a well-furnished office should be in place. Because all the reporters or everyone in National Assembly, they always see us when we bring in our freezer, our chairs, our tables, our rug. Uncle Yori, I bought a rug in my office.
But did you get reimbursed?
I brought paint to paint my office when I came at the 9th Assembly.
Did you get reimbursed?
Just concluded 9th Assembly. And that is the truth, nothing.
The question is, why are you reimbursed? Nobody's questioning that. Why are you reimbursed? It's the question. And I don't see that you answer that question. Why are you reimbursed? If you were reimbursed, that is also the fault of the system. This thing should be done by the system. And you, as a senator, House of Reps, should ensure that the system is actually functioning so that those things happening centrally. This is all ways in which funds are being taken. We all know this. It's not an excuse for people to find ways to take money. You say, okay, it cost me this much to fix. I'll provide a receipt. And you charge whatever and you get the money out. These are all... the system is it's flawed. So what she's saying here, she's partly right. But the system is designed that way so that they can all get something extra out of it for a job that's just, that's all part of the plan. Let's go ahead.
But the truth. So the way out. So the process, the hiccup that is always in the process of releasing funds for National Assembly, should be removed before the inauguration of 11th Assembly. So I think NLC will be doing good in overseeing, because I believe the NLC chairman did not bring the table to his office. I believe his secretary has AC, has TV in his office. So they must see to that too. And they can commission some people, just like a caller said. Let them investigate. Is it true that members of the National Assembly buy this on themselves? So when we are going, if we take our fridge, maybe it's not even us, not about we give out maybe to our aides. Many people that may not be returning, we give to all those casual workers to assist them, not that we take it to our homes. So I'm saying this as a former legislator, and I know what it takes. About the 100 million, when I read it, I know it was a lie. Because before I got to National Assembly, I always think that, they said Ghana must go. And a lot of pressure from our constituency. The constituent will come, and these are part of the people. So the NLC should just reframe themselves and finding the truth, because we cannot continue this, our democracy, building our democracy on lies. Thank you, Uncle Yori. God bless you. Senator Adaramodu, well done. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Taiwo, for calling in and adding that.
You see what they're doing there? They're not going answering this. I don't feel the question has been answered properly. I would want to know, are you reimbursed for that money that you spend? Because you said the provisions, it will take 2 years or something after you get the money. Are you reimbursed ultimately? In the end, you are. It's almost certain that you are. But the system itself is designed that way. And this is where the lack of transparency, what we're talking about, is there. Nobody should have to spend that kind of money. But the system is designed that way. And that is why we, the people, must be part of the process. That is what I'm saying. And I'm very, very clear about that. Let's go ahead anyway.
Perspective as a former legislator yourself. Well, again, Senator Adaramodu, thank you for coming on the program this morning. And this explanation has nothing to do with 100 million naira. You are just saying that, first of all, having debunked that, additionally,
I don't feel that the 100 million naira question has been answered. There needs to be a breakdown. The Senate President, I will recommend that the Senate President and the Vice President provide a report on the 70 billion naira, the disbursement of those funds, where it went to, who it went to, and for what. And that should be released for the public so that people will be able to know exactly where those funds are being used for and for what. And they can track it themselves. Just like very much the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, the funds again, these are public funds and they have to be reused to the public. That is my central point here, and that's my strongly held point of view. And I'm sure many people will support that as well. Let's go ahead.
Distinguished senators, honorable members also have their own hardships and are actually paying out of their pockets in order to be able to function efficiently.
Are they reimbursed? Are they reimbursed? I'm almost certain that they are reimbursed. And that is part of the flaws of the system. What should happen is nobody should have to be reimbursed. This thing should be done centrally. But they've done like this because it's like everybody will have the opportunity to contract out their own job and charge whatever they want. And this is not being discussed. That is the reality of what's going on. But let's go ahead.
Your last word, Senator Adimo, your final thought.
You see what it's doing there? It's trying to convince you with all of this shaking of the head and everything else. I don't no doubt that is probably that we have been told some half truths here, and we're not being told the full picture. And that is why we need a breakdown of that 70 billion naira. Just somebody coming to explain that without providing an authoritative reference point that everybody can refer back to and say, this is what the Senate President signed and issued out based on the 70 billion naira that we can go and refer to and question at every point of the step of the way. All of this will continue to happen.
On this subject matter, on this program, Senator Adaramodu.
Oh, thank you very much. And very grateful to Nigerians. I'm very grateful to TVC for giving us this opportunity to at least to let Nigerians have a peep into the life of an orderly.
The system has to be transparent. It's not about the peep. We need the system to be transparent. The system is not transparent. The system is not transparent. That is what we're saying. You will not, if the system was transparent, you would not have to be coming to here to discuss any of this. The system itself is not transparent, and the breakdown of that 70 billion naira has still not been provided. If you provide that, then there will be no issue. People will know exactly that if the NLC says something about 100 million naira being each person, the fact of the matter is the Senate President providing a breakdown that we can track ourselves. That would stop all of this conjecture.
Legislator in Nigeria, because every call to duty is not about rapacious acquisition of wealth. It's not about that. People should just don't think like that and think along the side of that Labour man who said that we are going to take 100 million naira each, which I still don't know why and what for. And then if it is not restricted, we can go constitutional, we can go legal against it and get our image back from them. Right. Because it is quite very, very absurd. That is about that one. And again, I want to appeal to our media men and women that please, the media is a gatekeeper. The media is an agenda setting. The media must look into facts of matters before even passing comments. At times I was watching television in the morning yesterday, not TVC. Somebody just talking that yes, people they are giving 8,000 naira when there's some people are sharing 100 million naira when there is no fact to sustain it.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Senator Daramodu. We've run out of time. So, I beg your pardon, Senator. I thank you very much for making yourself available for our program this morning. We've run out of time, but it's been quite enlightening, I dare say. Thank you once more. Senator Yemi Adaramodu represents Ekiti South Senatorial District. He's the chair of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, as well as the chair of the Senate Committee on Youth and Sports Development. Once more, thank you very much, Senator, for coming on our program this morning.
Right. Okay. So what I will certainly say is that it leaves more questions than answers. This interview this morning, it leaves more questions than answers. For example, I keep saying it. There is no clear breakdown of exactly how much the breakdown of that 70 billion naira, how it's been dispersed, on what, for what, and there should be clear indication of the breakdown of every part of it released to the public, signed by the President, President, and the deputy, so that we know the culpability and the responsibility for those figures. It should be. That is there because all of these people are answerable to you and I. All of them, the president. It says here, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through its constitution, derived all its powers and authority. You see it on the screen. And section 42C, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. These are things that they are accountable to you and I, and we need to ensure that we begin to really hold them to account. We must participate in this process. We must demand accountability. Just for somebody to come and say, this is what happens, without providing evidence, doesn't mean it's the case. And we need evidence-based transparency. The transparency would actually provide the evidence of people coming to say anything. And the Senate and for the executive and the judiciary have an opportunity at this point to be transparent in all their dealings, because they are answerable to the people to whom sovereignty belongs. It says here, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. The participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. These are the things that they must abide by. And I encourage every citizen to be aware of these two powerful sections of the Constitution that we must begin to use on a daily basis. We have to participate in our governance. That is the only way we will get good governance. If we don't participate, they will continue to loot and not be held to account. We must demand for transparency. We have the power to do so. I encourage everybody to begin to use the power that you see on the screen. What's left for me to say now before I go, of course, is to say to you, please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, help us reach more people. Like I said, I've been banned for a week now by Facebook and by YouTube because they said I was talking about money being looted. And I did talk about money being looted. I talked about the President of Senate of Gabon. In actual fact, I put my hands up. It wasn't President of Gabon. I thought it was, but it was somebody else. But the money was being looted. And I was talking about it from the point of view of the fact that our currencies, even the money that we're trying to loot, this is worthless. And we need to really work as Africans to make sure that we put our people first, not focus on the currency that's been imposed on us and that kind of thing. Anyway, be that as it may, I will be doing my broadcast on all that platforms as well. Please subscribe to Citizen Hour on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. I will try and do broadcasts as often as we can. But you're watching Citizen Hour, the platform where we speak truth to power. We must begin to hold our governors to account using the powers of sovereignty that we possess. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen Hour, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you and bye for now.